Okay, now what I'm going to make is a true Italian ice. So let me get it mixed together, started, and then we can talk more about my favorite subject, Italian ice. I'm going to make a chocolate Italian ice, which for a long time was just a New York flavor. But when you taste it, it really is fantastic. And chocolate is extremely subjective. My wife likes 80% cocoa chocolate, which tastes like chalk to me. And I think Hershey's candy bars and M&Ms are the be-all and end-all of chocolate. So it's all personal taste. So I'm going to use today some Hershey syrup and a product called Forbes chocolate. Forbes is a well over 100-year-old company out of Cleveland. The full name is Benjamin P. Forbes, but it's called Forbes chocolate, F-O-R-B-E-S. And it comes in a bag like this, and it's very simple to use. It dissolves nicely in the sugar and water without a lot of trouble. It can be used either for ice cream or Italian ices. I have no idea. I get everything for free, so, to be honest. So,
36-pound cases.
Okay.
12 of those, 3-pound bags.
Where'd my formula go?
287 or 289?
This is 287. And isn't the difference between 287 and 289 just the color of the cocoa? I don't think there's a big difference. I'm going to need back my formula from one of you because I've lost it. Thanks. Okay, so I'm going to start with a ½ pound of the cocoa.
½ pound of this cocoa?
Of this one.
Oh, okay.
It's getting pretty crowded over here.
Yeah. That's because there's only one of us cleaning up.
Well, then I think the one of us needs to do a better job.
You're right. Faster, anyway.
Faster, quicker, faster.
What do you need?
Anything to put it in.
Here.
Is this going to tear out properly?
What?
I'm going to tear out a ½ pound.
Yeah, just pre-weigh that, put 0 there.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah. Do you have a knife or scissors?
I do have a knife.
Okay.
This is the sanitized knife. I keep sanitizer in my pocket.
Yes, I know you do. That's a nice one. All right. Can't believe that weather. It looks like nighttime out there.
It's ice cream eating time. You know, when it rains, you do better business. You know that? I wouldn't think so, but I do better business when it rains. I guess people have, you know, your choices of outside are limited. So they come, you know, let's go have ice cream or coffee.
How far is your store from here?
1 hour. 1 hour.
One measly hour.
1 hour.
Ah, Jeff, it's not working.
What?
The container's too big. It's still reading 0.
Did you zero it?
I did.
I think it's got to work. The laws of physics demand that it work.
Okay. Well, if it's really chocolatey.
It can't be too chocolatey. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, I'm sure you could talk to him.
So after lunch, we'll make another variegate. And I thought, in the store we sell peanut butter fudge, but I thought it'd be fun to make peanut butter jelly, peanut butter and jelly, PB&J. So we'll make peanut butter ice cream, and we'll swirl it with grape jelly. So it'll be peanut butter and jelly. That should be good. I don't know. Why do you have In-N-Out hamburger on your phone?
You don't like In-N-Out hamburgers?
But why is it on your phone?
Because he's a taco guy.
Oh.
I betrayed the taco.
Jeff, why don't you tell them about the different grades of sugar?
You did. You did.
I did, and I see you finally succumbed to the good stuff. Eh?
Hey,
Eh? There is a difference in the sugar, man, I gotta tell you. The cheap sugar is just no good. It's a difference of like 9 cents a pound. It's silly not to buy the good sugar. No, nobody agrees with me.
I agree.
Yeah, it pours better, it stays better, it doesn't lump. It's what?
The smaller granules or just those ones?
Oh yeah, smaller granules. I don't think so. You think there's smaller granules in the Domino's?
I've never noticed. I will put them under a microscope.
Oh, we
and
ought
find
to
out.
we ought to granulate it out.
Yeah, we should. Okay, I've got my cocoa powder, 2.5 pounds of sugar. I hope my math is right on this. 4 quarts of water coming.
What are you making, Italian ices? Mm-hmm. We made chocolate ices yesterday, didn't we? Chocolate brownie, chocolate brownie ice, Italian ices.
Yeah, chocolate brownie chip.
We made chocolate brownie chip Italian ice, cream ice.
Now, why would you do that?
Well, the answer is why not?
I think I could go back to some videos that say ices will never sell in my store.
Well, I want to teach people how to do it all,
All right,
how to make everything.
that's the important part.
What?
You did throw it down the sink when you were done with it.
Tell them. Right after we made it, where to go?
Right in the sink.
Down the sink.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
I did.
Okay.
Pure
They have the
profit.
formula for this?
Pure profit going down. They do.
You need the
Pure
whisk?
profit. Thank you. Now, one nice thing about Italian ice is with ice cream, after it's been in the cabinet for a few hours, the flavor blooms. It gets stronger. So don't judge your ice cream completely by what it tastes like when it's first made.
Now, I disagree, of course, because when everything gets colder, it has less flavor.
Like
You
I
would
said-
agree with that, right?
Like I said, the flavor enhances. I'm not talking about frozen. I'm talking about,
Well, when you take it out, ready to sell it, it's not as good as when it comes out of the machine.
oh, I think it's better. I think warm ice cream coming out of the machine doesn't have as much taste. But the point here is with sugar and water and flavor, what you taste going in is what you're going to get. It's not going to change. So at this point, you can adjust the flavor. You can try it and see how you like it. I'm not going to worry about that. I got to worry about world peace, and you want me to worry about a drip? Come on. You got to set your priorities, man. All right. Let's just see how much product this is. Where'd you get these people?
What?
Oh, they called me.
What?
I said, where did you get all these people? All right, here we go. Sugar, water, and chocolate. Make sure the gate's closed. Now, as you can see on these smaller machines, I've just started putting on a new logo, a new Emery Thompson logo. Does anybody think the older people look familiar to you on this? That's the script from the '57 Chevy Bel Air. And as Jeff pointed out, the ET, which we didn't count on this, that's always been our logo. The ET is like the Ford V8 that they put on there too. So we're putting that into all our machines. Now I'm just going to turn this on, let it mix for a little bit. I set it to Italian ice on the infinite overrun control. And I am going to taste this before we go further to see how much more chocolate I want to put in. Again, it doesn't matter because it's privy only to my machine, but it's 234. It's full speed. But you try to make this in another machine, and the speed won't make any difference at all. I mean, it won't. What my number doesn't translate. It's like, you know, you can't go putting a Ford engine into an Acura. They're both 300 horsepower, but they won't interchange. Okay, that's got a good flavor, but now I'm going to add more of the Hershey syrup. Did you have a can opener?
I used the one in the kitchen.
Is it still here?
Yeah, it's still there.
Oh, in the
I'll
kitchen.
get it. I'll get it.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to start freezing this. So, Italian ice, start. Refrigeration on. And that's it. That's how easy that is. You can use all sorts of different exotic chocolates. Like I said, I really like Hershey's syrup. I think it's got a great taste. So I've got the fancy Forbes. Jeff uses Ghirardelli, which is incredibly good chocolate, and makes great products. So it's all subjective, what taste you like. And with all my machines, you can add things as it's running. You can add whole nuts, cookies, candies. It sounds like no big deal, but it is, because no other machine on the market can do that. My barrels are 6 times thicker than any other machine. The dashers are stronger, so unlike other companies who will void your warranty if you try to do that, we encourage it. You had a question? No. 45 years is the average lifespan of an Emery Thompson.
There's somebody in the audience who has a 40-year-old Emery Thompson right there.
I don't have a problem with what? The serpentine? What's the serpentine? Oh, no, not the way we attach them. Never have. I don't give away how I build the machines, but the track record speaks for itself. There's a machine on eBay right now that's 72 years old, and nobody else can claim that. See, everyone else uses. It's getting a little technical, and I don't want to get too far down there, but the source of cold, the Freon gas, swings around through copper tubing on the outside of the barrel. First we form the barrel, and then we wrap it in copper tubing, and that's my source of cold. Everybody else, we use copper. Copper's inert. It's like gold. It'll last forever. It will not wear out. Aluminum is what they use. Because aluminum is 1/9 the cost. And the problem with aluminum is it's great in bridges. It makes a beautiful bridge. But when exposed to Freon gas, it rots in 8 years. So if you look on eBay right now, you'll find about 150 Cappigianis and other Italian machines. They're all made with aluminum tubing and a lot of Chinese parts. And when they hit the 8-year mark, they're worn out. That's why they're for sale. The owner did not go out of business. Their machine went out of business. Emery Thompsons don't do that. We build them for life, for a lifetime. We're unlike any other company in the world. I think the only comparable company to us is Bentley, Bentley Motor Cars, and our machines last longer than a Bentley. 45 years is an average lifespan, or 6 times longer than anybody else's is a lot. Yes? The question was regular maintenance. I'll show you. Let me grab a dasher. This is the 44-quart dasher. Those blades are Delrin, which is a very strong polymer resin, and everybody else has to replace their blades in 6 months. These will go 6 years. No sharpening, no nothing. The reason is we designed this spring-loaded system about 9 years ago, so that as the blades wear, the springs still push them out against the walls. So even though the blades are wearing, they're still scraping just as good as the day they made it. On the maintenance of the machine, at the back end of the machine, there's a drive shaft that pulls out. And it has 2 black O-rings on it that you replace every 1.5 to 2 years. They're about $9, maybe they're $12 an O-ring. So over a 2-year period, you're looking at $24 in maintenance, period. I don't know just 2 O-rings. I don't know anything on earth that's that cheap to do. The front cover gasket doesn't wear out. There are no other wear items in the machine. Rolls-Royce used to say if they could weld the front hood of their car shut, they would. to keep the owner out. I wish I could weld up the panel so you can't get in it because there's nothing to maintain. We have, as far as selling spare parts, we sell very few. We do have parts going back to 1940. A guy called up and needed scraper blades for a 1943-year-old machine. That was you? Probably. Yeah. And I think one of the, being a snarky New Yorker that I am, to one of my customers, he said he had a 43-year-old machine, and I said, well, the question isn't do we have the parts, it's whether you want it next day or second day, because we have them in stock. That's what we do.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome. Sure, I'll pick any one.
That's so hard.
Here's the 12-quart dasher. Same design. Hi, Bill. Same design right there. Now, Italian ice is changing a lot. It used to be, when I was growing up, lemon, cherry, grape, orange, and if you're a New Yorker, chocolate. Now, I think mostly in part to a business called Ralph's Ices up in Staten Island, Larry DiStefano. Larry came down, visited once, and we talked about how the high heat and high humidity in Florida, a high-fat ice cream like our customer Haagen-Dazs, it'll make you sweat, it can give you a stomach ache, it makes you feel very uncomfortable. Jeff sells 10% fat, or uses 10% fat. So do I. That's the federal minimum. In New York, you couldn't get away with that, because in New York we have what I call the fat wars. If I'm selling 14%, you're going to sell 16% fat, just so you can say I'm the richest ice cream in New York. Well, when you get into practicality, a 16% ice cream down here in Florida, you have people dropping dead in the parking lot, and that's lousy for business. So I'm running a low-fat ice cream, and the Italian ices, Larry looked at the humidity and all, and he said, well, why couldn't we take sugar and water, the basic ingredients of Italian ice, and make an ice cream flavor? So sugar and water and peanut butter and jelly, sugar and water and Oreo cookies, sugar and water and mint extract, chocolate chips, and green coloring, mint chip, Italian ice. So you have all these different variations that you can do. And then now, the addition to the Italian ice business of selling all these different flavors, now, of course, you can do the dairy-free ice creams, which are also, in essence, an Italian ice. Just the addition of you're using coconut instead of water. So there's a huge range of products that you can make with this and can adapt. Now, if I take this Italian ice and serve it to you for $2 in a scoop, chocolate Italian ice, there you go. I can go to a fine French restaurant, put it in that dish and sell it for $6 or $7 and call it a chocolate sorbet, S-O-R-B-E-T, the French word for water ice, or the Italian sorbetto. It's the exact same product, it's just in a fancier presentation. No difference. So ices, the only downside to ices is it's seasonal, especially up north or anywhere not here in Florida. It's going to be May, I used to say May until Columbus Day, October. A lot of people now stay open through Thanksgiving. But for the most part, you can take the winter off. You might work 18 hours a day in the summer, but you can spend the winter in the Caribbean with all your money. So in the off season, if you don't want to take the time off, you can take this around to restaurants and sell it to them as sorbets. Interesting thing has happened in restaurants that you should know about. We always traditionally sold ice cream in these 2.5 or 3 gallon containers, this size. Well, I told you earlier this morning that the kitchens are shrinking in restaurants due to the rent. So now I've got a much, the kitchen used to be out here. Now the kitchen is back here. Everything shrinks, including the freezer space. So if I've got 2 flavors of homemade ice cream, I'm taking up this much room in the guy's freezer. If I use these gelato pan inserts, which are plastic and very inexpensive, in the same space, I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do 4 different flavors for the chef in the space that 2 tubs makes. And so there's your selling point, is where Haagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry are coming in and they're saying, we'll sell you tubs. You sell them, you can sell them in this. These come from a company called gelatosupply.com. And you can always call me and I'll tell you that again, gelatosupply.com. It's supposed to be just a liner for the stainless steel pan, but I think they're great. Here, you could sell them in this size, half of that, and now you've got, instead of 4 flavors, you've got 8 flavors. So it's a pretty interesting way to approach expanding your business. But the biggest way has been, when we left the Bronx, quite frankly, a lot of the Italian ice business in the Northeast has always been run by a few families, quote unquote families. And nobody wanted it to be known how ices were made. Well, I came down here, felt pretty safe, and I said the way I can help even more people is by teaching them how to make Italian ice. So you could never find an Italian ice formula. Now I've got, dozens of them at my website, emerythompson.com, for free. Jeff can tell you how to make ices. And so now when someone comes up to you and says, oh, I wish I could get into the ices business, instead of the old answer, which was, no, you can't, you'll never be able to do it, or you have a machine, you've got 1 push cart, and you say, well, that went well this year, I think I'll buy 3 push carts. Now you own 4 push carts, you have 4 employees, you're running QuickBooks, you're paying federal tax, state tax, local on the employee, you have to worry about health insurance, all this stuff. It's so much easier if one of you in the audience comes up to me with my push cart and says, gee, I wish I could do that. Well, you can. You call me by Tuesday and you tell me that you want a tub of vanilla, 2 tubs of cherry, a tub of mango, and I will have them ready for you on Friday afternoon. You come to my place on Friday afternoon, bring cash, no credit cards, no checks, no broken promises, no net 30, cash only. And you take away the product. So, I have a push cart. You walk up to my push cart, I sell you a lemon ice. That's a retail. You're throwing stuff at DF.
Oh, it's for trash.
That's a retail sale. You walk up to my place of business and you buy 6 tubs of lemon ice and you walk out with it. You put it in your igloo cooler. I've frozen it down to 10 below so you couldn't scoop it with a hammer and a chisel. And you drive it home, and that's still, in my mind, a retail sale. So now you can have 5, 10, 15, 20 people selling your ice, and they're not working for you. All you're doing is collecting the money. And I have done this over and over and over again. And what does it do for me? Well, it does a lot. I got them started with this machine, a $10,000 machine, and now they come back, they say, I'm working at 18 hours a day, I need a break. But if you're working anything 18 hours a day, you can afford to buy a larger machine. So we're going to expand your business with you. But not today. That's exactly the way Jeff started. He started with a CB350 and graduated up to a 24 quart when he could afford it. Not today. I'm the owner of the company. I don't have to meet a quota. I don't have to push you into something that you can't afford right now. So we get you started slowly and we work up from there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Chocolate
Beautiful.
Italian ice. So come on up and try it. Before you do, I'll take a spoonful and see if it kills me. Hey, that's not bad. And notice how refreshing it is.
You don't need a spoon.
No.
I need 2 of them, though, please.
We may be all day with the squeeze cups.
They'll wait. If we had a better scoop, it might be.
I know, you need a spade.
There's a joke there, but
No, there's
I ain't gone there.
not.
No Kathy Griffith for
Here.
me.
Should have kept my spoon.
I got it. This is the way we do it. Here you go.
Nope.
You don't need a spoon. Come on, man up.
Man up, I love it.
You're now all officially New Yorkers.
Yeah.
You're eating it the way you should.
Squeeze it and eat it.
Yeah, there you go. Make a mess.
We'll take one for Dad. Fabulous.
I think I got it. Right down the
There
side.
you go.
More on the floor.
That's all right.
One's good.
This is fun food. We play with it. There you go. Let's see. There's $2. There's $2. I can keep this up all day. There's $2.
I need to get him one down.
What is with these men? They can't walk up on their own? Gee.
Honey, get me one.
Yeah. There you go.
31 today.
Wow, that's our biggest, I think.
So how would you get the rest of this out of the machine that's stuck in that bath or whatever that's called? Would you
I pulled it too stiff.
Oh, and
I would have
saw
pulled it
that,
softer.
But
Nate, you want to try
since
it?
it is there like that, since it is there.
Well, I can wait a couple of minutes and it's going to melt.
Oh, it would just melt
So this is
Yeah.
Forbes. This is the Forbes chocolate.
Combination of Forbes and Hershey.
Okay. And so Forbes is basically a milk chocolate.
It's a chocolate powder company that's been in business 100 years. They make chocolate chips.
But what is the? So it's a liquid though. It comes in.
Oh, it's powder. Comes in a bag just like yours, right over there.
Okay, and it's literally.
What do you think? Good?
Very good.
Very good.
And cheap.
Cheap.
Inexpensive.
Cheap.